Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Cheryl. Thank you very much for joining me. If you're a new viewer, hello, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Hi. Okay, so this is a video about, if you saw the title, it is a video where I'm wrapping up all the reading I've done in the last, from April to July, to the end of July. So I did a wrap up for March and February and January, but it took me a long time to do them, so I'm just going to do a long video. So grab a cup of coffee, cup of tea, drink of your choice, maybe project to work on, and let's get started. Okay, so first of all, my throat's so croaky, I apologize. That is because of the wildfires outside. If you don't know, Kelowna, where I live, is having wildfires, and I have not been evacuated, thank God, knock on wood, but I do have friends who've been evacuated. My heart goes out to all of you who have been evacuated, have lost their houses. I don't think anybody's lost their lives yet, but it's a very hard... I mean, in BC, everywhere right now we're having wildfires, but in BC we're having a lot. And this one actually started in West Kelowna, where I live. And then the embers went across the lake to Kelowna and started a fire there. So my heart goes out to everyone. Thank you to the firefighters and first responders. You guys are awesome. It's a hard job, and we really appreciate you. Anyways, because of that, my throat is very croaky, so I apologize. Also, just a big health update here. I was in the hospital for 5 days, which is why a video hasn't come out in the last while. My upper leg was hurting so bad I couldn't walk. I went to the hospital, they did some tests, they did a CAT scan, found out I have a bulging disc in my back. So it affects my leg because it's all connected. My back feels pretty good, but it's my leg that hurts the worst, and we're dealing with that. I'm on some pain meds, and as soon as I get the pain managed, I can do some core exercises, which will help it not to come as bad next time. Unfortunately, I probably will have a sensitive back for the rest of my life, but hopefully it won't come this bad again. So I am very sore right now. I'm not really myself. I'm on pain meds. I might be kind of lost in my head or phase out. I'm not sure how well this video is going to go, but just bear with me. So what we're going to do, because I can't put the pictures up in the corner here because I don't have editing services, I'm going to show you on my phone. So we're just going to go up to Goodreads. Here we are. And we're going to start. So first of all, there was one book in March that I didn't mention in my video, and I wanted to mention it. And that is Grace of Wild Things by Heather Fawcett. Now, Heather Fawcett wrote Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. That is quite popular right now. I have it out on audio from my library right now. I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. The Grace of Wild Things is a middle grade of hers. I gave it 5 stars, absolutely loved it, and it is an Anna Green Gables retelling, but make it witchy. I know, it was an amazing book. I gave it 5 stars. I listened to it on audio. Look at that cover, isn't it gorgeous? And it's just, I want to have this book. I want to own it so bad. It's a great book. Like I said, if you know Anna Green Gables, you can tell the things that are in it that are related to Anna Green Gables, but it's just a wonderful book. Wonderful. Loved it. Again, I'm not going to go into details about the books because I don't remember it all, to be honest. I just remember I loved it. This one says, has found family loss and the power of a girl's imagination. It came out in 2023 and I loved it. So that one was read in March. Okay, now in June, I don't know what books I read in June, July, or May, June, and July. I've just put them all down. So first we've got, I don't even need these. I wrote all these out. I don't even need that. I could just look at my phone. Duh. So that's how well I am right now. I'm not really with it. So first we have To Steal a Heart by Jen Turano. I hope you guys can understand me okay. This one I gave 5 stars. Listen to it on audio. This is the first book in the Bleecker Street Inquiry Agency. Let's see if you can see it better over here. Bleecker Street Inquiry Agency. This is about a woman who is in a border house and the border house is full of women. It's all back in the 1800s, and they decide to start a kind of detective agency for women who aren't being taken seriously by the Pinkertons and, you know, the police and everything. So in each book they have a mysteries they solve and a romance. And in this book we follow Gabrielle, and it was just a beautiful romance. It's clean. There's no cursing, no cussing, no intimate scenes. It's a really good book. I believe it does mention religion, but it's not like preachy, so I think anybody can read it and enjoy it. I really enjoyed it. So that I did read the other two books, which will come up soon in that series. Next we have Killer Cupid by Lorene Berenson. Lorene Berenson writes cozy mysteries. She writes the Melanie Travis series. This is number 29. This is more of a novella, I think. It was quite short. I gave it 4 stars. The Melanie Travis Canine Mystery is about Melanie Travis, who breeds and owns and shows dogs that are standard poodles. And in this book, she and her husband go on a trip, and a murder happens at the resort, and it involves a little dog, and it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, I believe. Yes. Read that physically. Next we have... Hang on. My phone's not cooperating. Next we have Lucinda Riley's The Storm Sister, which is, like I said, written by... my tongues feel swollen. Lucinda Riley. So The Storm Sister is the second book in the Seven Sisters series. The first book being The Seven Sisters. I gave this 4 stars, read it physically. The Seven Sisters is about 6 sisters who have an adoptive father, are very rich, and their adoptive father dies, and all the 6 sisters who are adults come back to this mansion where they lived, and their father has left each of them, don't think it's a spoiler, had left them each a clue to their background, where they were from, why he adopted them, that kind of thing. So in each book, one of the sisters discovers her past and where she came from and has a romance. It's really good. This one was about Allie, who races yachts. There is a very sad part in about the beginning of the book. I cried so hard. I didn't cry. I felt like crying so hard. I think I did cry a bit, to be honest, but it was a very good part. Where someone dies. I mean, it's not a good... What am I saying? It's a very sad part when someone dies, and it was really emotional. But this whole book was really good. Really enjoyed the series. I currently have the 3rd book on audio out on my Overdrive, so... yeah. Gave that 4 stars. I don't know why I gave it 4 stars. I think it's more of 5 stars now that I think about it, but... Next we have... An Ale of Two Cities by Sarah Fox. This is a new favorite author of mine for cozy mysteries. This is the Literary Pub Mysteries number 2. Hang on. And, oh, my phone's doing weird things. Okay. An Ale of Two Cities, and this is about a lady named Sadie who has a literary pub. And the pub is based on literary themes. It has, like, Lord of the Flies instead of Lord of the Flies. Fault. Can't remember what that one is, but Fault in the Stars rep. And it's just so good. So, I really enjoy this book. It's a mystery. I don't remember exactly what happened. I just remember loving it. I read this physically. Again, the literary part is what gets me. It's so good. The writing is amazing. If you love cozy mysteries, if you love books and literary things, you will love this book. Very good. And this whole series is great. Next, we have book number 2 in the Bleecker Street Inquiry Agency that I talked about. This one is called To Right a Wrong This one was my favorite out of all three that I read. I think there's only three in the series. There we go. Why does it keep moving? Come on. This is about, I forget her name, but she is the writer who, I love her because she's a writer. And in the 1800s, women writers weren't taken seriously. They couldn't write thriller books. They weren't allowed to write thriller books because a woman can't write thriller books, right? So she writes under a pseudonym, a man's name, and she is a best-selling author. And in this book, there's another mystery, and she goes, I can't remember exactly what happens, but it was really good. That's all I remember. I gave it 5 stars, really enjoyed it, listened to an audio. The audiobook narrator did an awesome job, and I love that book. Okay, next, I don't know what number we're on, but next we have, one of my favorite books this year, Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jesse Q. Santano. I gave this 5 stars. Listen to it on audio. If you get a chance, I recommend listening to it on audio. The narrator was so good. So this is about Vera Wong, who's a Chinese lady, and she lives in America, and she has a tea shop, but the tea shop isn't doing very well. She basically has one customer, and she lives outside, or not outside, no, not outside, upstairs from the tea shop, and she comes down one morning and there is a dead body in her tea shop, and she thinks the police can't do the job well enough, so I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to find out who murdered him. And my camera just turned off again. I know you can't see it on my end, but on your end, I mean, but okay. So Jesse Q. Santana wrote this book. What was I talking about? Oh, Vera Wong was a Chinese woman, and she finds a body in her tea shop, and she decides that she will just figure out who killed him, and she interviews and suspects everyone that comes into the shop, and she figures that the murderer will come back to the scene, so anybody who comes into the shop she thinks killed them, and she investigates them. It is hilarious. It is so funny. I laughed out loud so many times during this book. It was so good, and it has a found family part in it. And I knew who the murderer was pretty well halfway through the book, but it was still really good. Really enjoyed it. Very much enjoyed it, and I gave it 5 stars. It'll probably be one of my favorites, if not my favorite of the year. And my phone just turned off. Wonderful. Okay. Actually, I'm surprised it lasted that long. All right. Okay. Here we go. Why aren't you working? Come on, phone. Work. My phone's been doing weird things lately, and it's just very good reads. It's been doing weird things, so I think I have to reboot it, but hopefully it'll work enough to finish this. Remember to hydrate. I mean, I know I'm supposed to hydrate with water, but I want caffeine, so I'm going to drink Diet Coke from McDonald's. Okay. All right, we got to drink something. Just a warning, not a warning. Oh my gosh, I'm so out of it. I'm so sorry. Okay. Now, is the camera working? Yes, it is. Okay. Here we go. Next, we have, after Vera Wong, we have, come on. Alright, we have Paper Cuts by Ellery Adams. This one, I believe I listened to it on audio. I gave it 4 stars. Nope, wrong book, sorry. That's not the book I want. I don't know why it went to the Killer Cupid. Paper Cuts. There we go. I gave it 5 stars. I honestly don't remember much about it, but I do remember this book is part of the Secret Bone and Scone Society number 6. And I just love those books. There's a mystery, but there's always an emotional, hard-hitting topic in them. and it was just so good. Oh, I remember it now. Oh my gosh, it was so good. It's a cozy mystery, and again, it has a hard-hitting topic, and it's about some women who are involved in a book club they call the Secret Book and Scone Society, and they solve mysteries together. And each woman has a secret of the past that she had, and it's just a wonderful book. It's about female friendship and romance and mystery and murder and revenge, and it was so good. I recommend Ellery Adams. I have read other books of hers, but this is my favorite series of hers. So yeah, gave that 5 stars. Believe I read that on audio or listened to it on audio. Oh, my voice is going. Next, we have The Remarkable Journey of Coyote Sunrise, which is a middle grade by Dan Gaimanhart. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. This is a middle grade about a girl named Coyote Sunrise, and she is going around the U.S. with her dad, who she calls Rodeo, and they are traveling in a bus made over into a camper, and I'm just looking at the cat. The cat looks so cute. I got distracted by the cat. This book, Coyote is a young girl who has, I don't think it's a spoiler, she has a loss in her family, that someone had died. And she's grieving, but at the same time, she's trying to be strong for her dad. And they're traveling all around the U.S., and in this book, she finds out something about a park that is being closed down, and there's something hidden in that park that she needs to get to. So she inadvertently gets her dad to travel to the town where he doesn't want to go back to her hometown because it reminds him of, I'm going to say it's his wife and his daughters that passed away, her sisters and mom. I don't think it's a spoiler, it's right in the beginning. I think it's in the synopsis, I'm not sure. But he doesn't want to go back to that town because of the memories, and she gets him to go back there to get that thing that she has at the park, and that is being closed at. I'm not saying this very well. It's a very good book, very emotional. It has some parts and it's a bit unbelievable, but still, it was really good. I gave it 4 stars. I think it would have been 5 stars if it wasn't for one part that I just didn't like. I didn't like that one part near the end, but I really did enjoy the book. I read this book because I was going to do a video on Sarah, the bookish knitter. I was going to do her favorite books, and that was one of her books that she loved. But because I can't do editing, I can't do that vlog anymore, but I really enjoyed it. Next, we have a children's book. Just out of the blue, I saw on, I think it was on Lauren in the Books. I think it was her channel. I'm not sure. She was talking about, I remember it was a she, but they were talking about a book, no, it was Miranda. Is that her name, Miranda? Can't remember her channel name. But it was her. She was talking about the Bramley Hedge series, which is a children's book series, and she loves the artwork in it. So I just randomly found one at the library, and this is Bramley Hedge number 3. This is Autumn Story by Jill Barkleb. I gave it 3 stars. I don't know, it might be better to give it a 4-star, but it was really cute. The pictures were cute, the story was cute. It's just, let's see. Autumn Story by Jill Barkley. It was cute. Just a quick read. Nothing much to say about it. It's about some little creatures. And then I read The Wolf Widow by Victoria Abbott. This is another one of my favorite series, cozy mystery series. This is part of the Book Collector's Mystery. This is book number 3. Really enjoying this series. It is about a woman who works for a book collector, and this woman gets books and gets, wrangles deals to get good first editions and things like that for this woman, and she ends up getting into murder mysteries and solving them. And what's funny is her family are all cons, like they're all criminals, and not like killers, but they're criminals still. And she's the only one in the family to go straight, kind of thing, and not be a criminal. And her uncles, who are all raised her, who are the criminals, are all part of the books, and it's just hilarious. One of her uncles, I adore him. He's so funny. He's so um, oblivious to things, and it's just hilarious. And this book is so good. I loved it. This one particularly, I thought was about Virginia Woolf, but no, it is about Nero Wolfe, who is, I believe, a character. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's a character in one of the classic books, but I can't remember who the writer is. Anyways, I love this book. I don't remember exactly what happens. I think this might be the one where they go out of town to another city. I don't remember. I just remember I loved it and gave it 5 stars. I listened to it on audio. The audiobooks are wonderful. Then, sorry, ticks. If you don't know, I have Tourette syndrome, and I just did some ticks. I apologize. Next, we have Pride, Prejudice, and Peril. This was by Katie Oliver. I've never read from Katie Oliver before, and I just love this. I gave it 5 stars. Read it physically. This is from the Jane Austen Tea Society mystery, and this book was so good. It is about a woman who, let me see if I get this right. What happens? I don't exactly remember. Phaedra Brighton. Right. So this book is about a woman named Phaedra who is a professor of literature at her university. And she often, I'm trying to get this right, she often wears Regency outfits and clothing when she, I'm so tired, I'm so sorry, when she's teaching, and she's very much an Austen scholar. And there's this TV show, reality TV show that comes to her city, and it is Who Wants to Marry Mr. Darcy, and she becomes a person, I forget what you call it, but a person who makes sure everything's authentic and everything, and as well as clothing and style and everything, and make sure everything's right. And there's a murder, and it was so good, and it's so good. I really enjoyed this book. I have to read the rest. So good. Yeah, I gave 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. Read that physically. Okay. Next we have, I told you this is going to be a long video. Next we have, wait, I'm going back. Okay. Next we have Terry Blackstock's Double Minds. This is a Christian fiction. I buddy read this with my friend Jess, and I gave it 4 stars. Did I give it 4 stars or 5 stars? 4 stars. This book is I believe it's a standalone. Yeah, it's a standalone about a girl named, was it Parker was her name? And she works in a music industry in I think it's the early 2000s or late 1990s, somewhere around there. She works in a Christian music place, like a studio, and someone gets murdered, and she realizes that she is in danger, and she tries to solve the mystery, she doesn't volunteer to solve the mystery, she just happens to have to solve the mystery for another reason. And she is also a singer. There's a lot of music talk in this book. I really enjoyed it. I found some of it. It is a Christian novel, so it does have talk about God and about God's plan for people. I really enjoyed that. I cried a bit. There was a part where she was talking about how God has a plan for you, and it may not be what you wanted, but it's such a good book. Really enjoyed it. Very emotional. It is a mystery. It's a murder mystery, but there's no graphic scenes or anything. It's just a wonderful book. Again, a Christian fiction by Terry Blackstock. I'm starting to slur. I'm not drunk. I'm just really tired from my meds. I'm on pain meds that make me go kind of wonky, so I need to get this video done soon, so I apologize if it sounds like I'm slurring or something. I'm not, honest. I'm not drunk, honest. Okay, next we have, come on, All That Is Hidden by Reese Bowen and Claire Broyles, who I think is her daughter or daughter-in-law. Probably, I think it's her daughter-in-law, but I don't know why they have different last names. Maybe Reese married again? I'm not sure. None of my business, actually, but I was just wondering. So I gave this 4 stars. This is number 19 in the Molly Murphy mystery series. I love these books. I've read quite a few of them, but I'm starting to get bored of them, really. But this was a good book. Still, I gave it 4 stars. I did enjoy it. It's about Molly Murphy, who in the first book immigrates from Ireland in the early 1900s, and she becomes a detective later on, and then in this book she has kids and is married, and it's just a good book. What I don't like about this book is every book in the series goes about halfway through the book before the murder happens, and I just don't like that. I'd rather have the murder happen in the beginning, or at least in the first quarter, but this takes at least half the book before the murder happens, and I just don't like that. But I did enjoy the book. I read this physically. I did love it when I read it. Not one I'll probably read again, but I did enjoy it, and I did give it 4 stars at the time. I really liked it, so yeah. Don't remember much about it. I know in that book she gets to live in a mansion kind of thing, and she has problems dealing with the fact that she's living as a fancy person, and she wants to be more herself as a middle class kind of person, and she's having problems dealing with having servants and stuff like that. It was really good, but not my favorite of hers of that series. I think my favorite would be the Christmas one. I don't know what it was called, but that one was really good. The Ghost of Christmas Past, I think is what it was called. Really enjoyed that book. That was probably my favorite of the series. Next, we have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I gave this 4 stars. Ooh, there's a giveaway. Oh no, it's US only. Darn it. If you live in the US, it has 1 day and 10 hours to enter. You win a free print copy of this book. Okay, Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. This book, I did read all of Caravel's trilogy. I finished the last book this year, I think, and I really enjoyed it, so I wanted to read this series. I do have the second book in the series right now that I'm currently reading. Really love it. In Caravel, I think you should read Caravel first, but it's not needed, but I just think you should. I think it makes more sense to read Caravel first, the trilogy. But Once Upon a Broken Heart is about a different character than the main characters in Caravel, but it does have a character come from slide into that series, as well as the main characters from Caravel are in this series, in this book, but they're not mentioned very much. Okay, so I'm so tired. Once Upon a Broken Heart is about Evangeline, and her love of her life is marrying her stepsister, and she doesn't want that to happen, so she goes to a church, and this weird church, and finds the Fate, I forget what his name is. He's like a god, but they call him Fates. There's a charismatic Prince of Hearts. So she goes to the Prince of Hearts and asks him, please stop the wedding. So he says, sure, I'll stop the wedding in exchange for 3 kisses. Not to me, but I'll tell you when you need to kiss someone. So she says, sure, no problem. And things go on from there. Is a fantasy. It was very good. It's like a fairy tale. It's very good. And I think the first book is better than the second so far. I'm only halfway through the second book, but I really like this book especially, Broken Heart. I thought it was really well done. It reminded me a lot about a fairy tale, and that's what I liked about it. It was very good, so recommend that. And I gave it, like I said, 4 stars. 4 stars is a very good book for me. 5 stars is one that I will love forever kind of thing. Next, we have Big Tree by Brian Selznick. This was a letdown. I gave it 3 stars. Brian Selznick writes middle grade books or children's books that I think they'd be middle grade. That are his books are thick books, and half the book is written in pictures, and then the other half is in prose. So you go through sometimes 10 pages of pictures that tell the story, and then you read for with words for like it's a really good books. I really enjoyed his other books. I've read all of his books. This one I just didn't enjoy. This one's called Big Tree, and it's about a little seedling. And what I didn't like about it is I think it talks about evolution and things like that that I don't agree with being a Christian. I just didn't enjoy the talk about that kind of thing. Some of it I loved, some of it I liked, and a lot of it I didn't like. So, yeah, I really didn't enjoy this book. I love the pictures. The pictures were wonderful. Again, they're all done in black and white, and they're beautiful pictures. I love that. I loved that we talked that the main character is a seedling. I loved that. I just didn't like the religious parts put in it, and it's not blatantly religious unless you know religion, and then you kind of see what he's trying to say. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that because I mean, he's allowed to write whatever he wants. I mean, I have no problem with him writing it and believing it or whatever. It's fine. I personally don't want to read something like that. So I did read the whole book. I didn't want to DNF it just because I wanted to see how it ended. And I did love the pictures and his writing. That said, I probably won't read it again. And I gave it 3 stars. Not it was a disappointment for me, but I can see how a lot of people would like it. So I gave it 3 stars just because the pictures were great. The story itself was great. I just didn't like the religious things put into it or the things that were against religion, and I just didn't like that. So, yeah. Sad but true. I am looking forward to his next book, though. I will continue reading his books. I do love them, and I think he's a great author and illustrator. Just wasn't for me, that book. Next we have, and I read that physically, of course. I don't know how you would read it in audiobook because of all the pictures. Next we have Murder in Postscript by Mary Winters. This one I gave 4 stars. Right, this one is about a woman who, I don't remember. It's a Lady of Letters mystery. I think it's book 1. Oops, I just lost it. Hang on one second. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay. This is Lady of Letters number 1. I listened to an audio. It's about Amelia Amesbury, and she took over for her aunt, kind of in a Dear Miss Abby kind of thing, where she answers letters from newspapers. Takes place in the 1800s, I believe. And she gets a letter saying that this woman, it feels like she's in danger. Please meet me at such and such. And Amelia feels that this person's in danger, so she goes there and finds this lady dead. So she gets involved in the mystery. Very good. I loved the writing. Very good. I enjoyed it. I think I gave it 4 stars, right? 4 stars, yeah. Really enjoyed it. Looking forward to the next book in that series. Next we have The Sayer's Swindle by Victoria Abbott. This is book 2 in The Sayer's Swindle. Let's do this. No, I want to go here. Come on. Tap, tap. Come on. Okay. This is book 2 in the Book Collector's Mystery, which I talked about earlier. This one is about Dorothy L. Sayers. She has the, Jordan is the main character. Mrs. Van Alst is the book collector, and one of the Sayers, I think a few of the Sayers books goes missing, and the first editions. Sorry about the tick. And it's just a murder mystery. I love this series. So good. Again, I love the uncles. Even though they're criminals, they're wonderful people. And I just love them. Next, we have a special book. This is Book High and Low by Jessica Breimer. She is a friend of mine, good friend of mine. And this is book 2 in the Messy Bookshop Mysteries. And yeah, I love this book. It has 2 cats in it. It's a mystery. If you love books, it's a wonderful bookstore mystery, cozy mystery, of course. And it is about a woman named Garnet Stone. And in the first book, she works at a bookstore and is about to be fired. And I can't remember exactly what happens. All I remember is there was a great mystery. This book is, I think, better than the first. I really enjoyed it. I did help edit this book. I thought that was a lot of fun. So if there's any problems with the books, it's my fault. No, just kidding. But it was a really good book. It was a really interesting. I didn't guess the murderer until the very end, just before the reveal, which was really good. I thought the mystery was well done. The characters are funny. There's a mannequin in this book that I think is my favorite character, even though it's a mannequin that doesn't talk. I just love her. And the 2 cats got their own personalities. I think Jessica's writing was so much better in this book, even though the first book was really great as well. This book was just so much better. I think you can tell the difference in Jessica's writing, in how she's getting more, not better, but just, yeah, well, how can I say it? More mature in her writing, and I really enjoyed that. So I'm looking forward to book 3. I'm going to be getting a copy of book 3 soon so I can edit it on my computer, so I'm looking forward to that. But this one was really good. Really enjoyed it. 5 stars if you read the first book. And I don't say this to be mean to Jess or anything, because she is a very dear friend of mine. I love her to death. In the first book, there were a lot of grammar errors, and if that bothered you, this book has less errors in it, and it is very well done. The first book, I believe her editor that she had for her publishing company was the wrong editor for her. I believe the editor that they gave her was more of a plot editor instead of a line editor, and what she needed was a line editor. And so this book, she had a different editor, and I'm really happy about that. So it was really well done. Really enjoyed this book. So if the first book bothered you with the grammar typos in it, check this book out. You'll love it. I really love the series. And Jess is such a sweetheart. And just pick up her books. They're wonderful. They're sold on Amazon. And I love them. Okay. I'm just going to gush over Jess from now on. Okay. Next we have... I'm going to move the camera a bit here. Going to take another drink. I got to move. Oh, my leg hurts so bad. Okay. We're going to get through this. We're going to do it. We're already at 40 minutes almost. How to Get Away with Myrtle. This is book 2 in the Myrtle Hardcastle Mysteries. It is a middle grade. Again, my voice is so croaky. I apologize. It is a middle grade murder mystery series about a girl named Myrtle. When does this take place? I believe it's early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s. I love this series. It's an Edgar Award-winning series. Ooh. This is by Elizabeth C. Bunce. I gave this one 4 stars. Now, this one happens on a resort again, and the part of it happens on a train, and I didn't enjoy it as much as the others, but I did really enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. It wasn't my favorite, but I really did enjoy it, and I read this physically. Really good book for middle graders and adults alike who like middle grade, because I'm an adult and I love middle grades. So Really enjoyed it. Myrtle Hardcastle is a great character. She's people call her Morbid Myrtle because she likes to investigate deaths and she's into poisons and stuff like that. She's into that kind of thing. So really enjoyed this book. Gave it 4 stars. All right. Next we have Lemon Curd Killer by Laura Childs. I gave this 4 stars. Ooh, my camera's moving. This is a tea shop mystery number 25 by Laura Childs. This follows Theodosia, who is a who is a tea shop owner, and she sells mysteries. And this one, there was a death in they were doing a tea party thing, and there was a death. I don't remember much about it, but it was really good. Really enjoyed it. Listened to it on audio. Very good. Normal cozy mystery. This is one of my favorite series, though. I really enjoy it. That's about it. If you want to watch more of Laura Childs, learn more about Laura Childs, check out my video. I'll try to remember to link it up top. There is a video I did about Laura Childs in my... It was a series I started. I don't remember what I called the series, but I'll try and link it up above about Laura Childs and her books. Next, we have... We're almost done. Not quite. Actually, we have a lot more to do. We're going to do another part in this. I think we're going to do part 2. So, this is part 1. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, we're going too long, and I have too many books to talk about, so I will do a part 2 probably tomorrow, the next day, maybe Friday, sometime this week, and we will talk about the rest of the books that I read from April to July. I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh, excuse me. Thank you very much for watching. Again, I apologize for not being with it because I'm on pain meds, and also my croaky throat because of the fires. Again, anybody who's affected by the fires anywhere, especially in BC, but in Alberta, they had some problems in Ottawa, a lot of places in Canada as well as the US, and there are some, there's the big Maui fire and everything. My heart goes out to everyone affected by wildfires. I don't know what to say. It's awful, and I don't look forward to summers now because of the fires. So, yeah. My heart goes out to you. I love you all. Thank you for watching. God bless.